Your hands beside your hips. Lengthen the sides of the body, roll the shoulder bones back. Relax your legs down. Spread your chest in the front and in the back. Then keeping this breath, bring your palms together. Close your eyes, relax your face. Relax your forehead, broaden your eyebrows. Let your body become steady. Let your eyes rest back in their sockets. And feel your normal breathing. And let's chant together. Exhale. And bow your head. And as you bow your head, keep lifting your chest and broadening your collarbones. Lengthen from the back of the shoulder down to the elbows. Feel the fingers extending upwards. Then rest your hands down. Open your eyes to raise your head. So we'll start with Upavishta Konasana. So you'll be able to sit flat, but some of you who are stiffer will need to sit on height. And then corner is very nice. So it would be like that. So that when you slide your legs wide, the thighs move down without the restriction of the blanket. So a triangular positioned blanket or block. Alternatively, sit flat. Make sure that your pelvis is upright. Then press your feet down, press your legs down. So the legs are going down and the front of the pelvis is lifting up. Can you feel this distinction between legs and pelvis and trunk? So go down with the groins, with the thighs, and lift up with the front of the pelvis. Navel is lifting up. Then have your fingertips on the floor and roll your shoulders back. This is actually a very cooling posture. It's alert, but it's also quite cooling, which is wonderful on an afternoon like this. It's really hot today. So feel this contact with the earth, the backs of the legs really spreading. Make sure that your sacrum is moving in. You're lifting your lower back. Your shoulder blades are pressing firmly into your back. And the dorsal and cervical vertebra of the spine are also moving in. Keep the head back in line. Don't let it jut forward. And exhale. Then Baddha Konasana. So bend your knees, keeping that length. Bring the soles of your feet together. Now if you're stiff in the knees or hips, you'll find the knees will be up like this. So do sit up on a bit more height. A couple of bolsters even, or blocks. Then again, use your fingertips, press them down into the floor to ascend your trunk, and then stretch from the inner thigh to the outer knee. And then lengthen the sides of your body up. So we're using the hands on the floor, because if you're stiffer and you hold here, the body tends to be like this. But we actually want to lengthen the front of the body. So again, can you feel the distinction between leg and pelvis? Can you lift up here? Keep the tongue resting in the lower palate. Those of you who are able to keep this lift in the chest and hold the feet, then do so. But most people find it really hard to do. So really watch whether you're leaning forward. So roll the shoulders back, lift the armpits, lengthen the sides of the neck, lift the crown of the head. Feel your body as a whole. And then bring the legs in and stretch them forward. Spread the feet, press the legs down. We're going to come into Chaturanga Dandasana preparation into downward facing dog pose. So Chaturanga is that yogic press up where we lie on the floor and we have our hands by our armpits. We tuck our toes under. We're not doing the full posture yet, but we're just getting the toes. See how I'm really tucking my toes under, and the shins are hitting up to the ceiling. The knees and the thighs are pressing up to the ceiling. Then roll your shoulders back and stretch from your shoulder towards your elbow, so going back, so that your chest is stretching forward. Can you feel that in your own body? Good. And now exhale, press down into the floor. Keep your feet and hands where they are and press back into downward facing dog pose. Stretch the heels back and then see, can you move the front of the ankles back and the shins back, inner and outer knee back, thigh back. So again, we don't want there to be a blur here. So we press the thighs back. So there's a distinction between leg and pelvis. And keep your head in line with your upper arms. So your chest has still got a sense of stretching forward. Exhale. And bend your knees to come down. Then kneeling forward bend. So bring your feet together. I'm going to show you this way so you can see my feet. And get the outer ankles to move in. So don't let the ankles be like this. Move them in. So outer ankles in. Sit down on your heels. And then walk your hands forwards. So you're lengthening your breastbone forwards. Feeling those shoulder blades pressing flat into your back. And extend forwards. Rest your head. As you rest your head, keep the underneath of the arms pressing up. So you're not letting the elbows hang down. You're pressing the underneath of the arm up on both sides, so that the vertebra here in the dorsal and up here right in the neck move into the body. So the arms press up as the vertebra move in. And inhale and come up. Parigasana. So have a foam pad for your feet, place it on the right side of your mat and fold over your mat so that you've got a bit of padding for your shins. Parigasana is the gate pose. So kneeling, press your shins down so that your knee and your hip are in line. And then take this leg out to the side. And if the block's too far, then you do need to move it. So knee and hip in line, and then press the sacrum forward. That outer ankle moves in. And the ball of the foot is pressing onto the block, not the arch, the ball of the foot. And then as you press the ball of the foot down, feel the arch lifting and the muscles of the leg lifting. Then reach your arms wide, feel the shoulders extending wide, feel your back broadening. Inhale. Exhale, reach to the side. So you've got to grip this left hip in as you reach towards your foot. Then turn this left arm and stretch up and over your ear. Press the arm back so that the chest stays facing forwards rather than the floor. Outer ankles in, outer hips in, chest rolling towards the ceiling. Exhale, inhale, reach to come up. And let's do the same on the other side. So it does look a bit like a gate, doesn't it? You know, one of those big country gates with the cross beams. So fold the other side up and kneel down. Your block is over on the left. Press your shins down and then take your leg to the side. Adjust the position of the block so that you maintain the position of the knee and the hip. But at the same time, you don't want to be too far over so that the hip sticks out. So press the ball of the foot down. And I'm at the front of my mat, which helps me to keep my knee and my foot in line. So see if you can do that then. Move the sacrum in, feel the lift in the front of the pelvis and stretch your arms wide. Broaden the shoulders as you reach the arms wide. Inhale. Exhale, extend to the side. Grip this right hip in, move it in so you're really lengthening this left side of the body, bringing the hand down. Make sure the foot's, only the ball of the foot's pressing into that block. Then stretch up and over. Then try to roll the top shoulder, top arm back. Try to move it back. It's not so much the arm, but it's the trunk, it's the chest. Roll it back. Normal breathing. And exhale, press down into that right shin, press into that left foot, and inhale, reach to come up and bring your legs together. Open out your mat. Adho Mukha Svanasana once more. So tuck your toes under, place your hands and press your legs up. Can you feel how long the sides of your body are? Exhale, bend your knees and step your feet forwards. You can have the feet hip width apart. And then inhale and come up. Let's go into Vrikshasana, tree posture. So be in Tadasana in the center of your mat. So this is our starting point for all the standing postures. So have the big toes touching and the heels. Then make sure the feet are spreading, the balls of the feet are spreading and those little toes too. Then squeeze the outsides of the ankles in and the shins, and then draw the legs up. So that work that you're doing now on the feet and the shins is going to give you stability. So feel this contact with the floor through your right foot. And then lift your left leg. Bring the foot right up to the top of the leg, and just like our Baddha Konasana, press that heel not into another heel this time, but press the heel into the thigh. And also lift the shin like we were doing in Baddha Konasana. Roll the thigh back and then stretch up. And keep the lift in the front of the pelvis, the lift in the chest, and press the upper arms back. So your dorsal and cervical vertebra are gently moving into the body. Keep firming the outsides of the arms, move them in. Don't let the arms be hanging down like this. Move the outer upper arms in and reach up. Quiet face, eyes steady, and then bring your arms and leg down. Good, let's do the other side. So again, really plant the foot down, so get both heels pressing down, spread the balls of the feet, lift up the arches, squeeze the outer shins in, and maintaining that, lift the right leg. Now push the heel into the thigh, grip the hips, keep the shin lifting up, and the thigh rolling back. Stretch up. Pressing the upper arms back and moving the shoulder blades and the dorsal and cervical vertebra into the body. Face quiet, eyes steady. And exhale, come down. Trikonasana on the right side, triangle posture. Bring your hands into your chest, bend both of your knees, jump or step wide. Turn the left foot in, turn the right heel in and the toes out so you've rotated the leg. Then inhale, stretch up so you're lengthening this side of the body. And first go, we're just going to take the hand below the knee. Just below the knee. So the abdomen stays broad, the chest stays broad, and this left shoulder stays directly above the bottom shoulder. Don't let it hang forward and the head come forward. So take it back so the head can be back. And then feel the cervical vertebra, dorsal moving into the body. Come up. So now second time we'll go lower, but if you're stiffer in the body, you'd be better off staying with the hand just below the knee. Inhale. Exhale. Oh no, let's reach up. Inhale, stretch up so we get this length on this side, and then take the hand to where you can whilst maintaining the top shoulder back. And then bring the left arm so it's directly above the bottom arm, and then press the shoulders, and as if you're pressing this top arm back against an imaginary wall, so you can feel the dorsal spine moving into the body, which frees up the neck. Then see if you can then press down into the feet, press back with the arms, and turn to look up at the top hand. If that's too much for your neck, then just look straight, because you do need to get the openness in the chest in order to turn the head safely. Exhale, face forwards, inhale, come up. Turn your toes, rest your arms. So we're going to go over to the left side now. Reach wide, turn the right foot in, left leg out. So first go, inhale, hand just below the knee. So not far, but keep this right hip lifting, keep this right chest lifting, keep this right shoulder back so you haven't leant forward. So you're moving this left buttock in and taking the top shoulder back. And come up, then go lower if you can. Inhale, exhale, extend to the side. Keep the length in both sides of your body and then press the arms as if back against something. So you can feel the neck vertebra moving in. So check that you're not bringing the head forward. Move that left buttock in, press the arms back, keep the head back in line with the spine. And then if you did so on the other side, turn to look up at the top hand. Stay grounded in the feet and the body as a whole as you look up. Exhale, look forward. Inhale, come up. Turn your toes forward, bring your hands in. And then step or jump your legs together. Be in Tadasana, spread the feet, feel that contact. Then roll the shoulders back. And instead of letting the arms kind of hang forward like this, keep them back. So you're again getting that sense of pressing the arms back against something so that you can move all of this into the body. Because otherwise what can tend to happen, we get rounded in the back and the shoulders and the head comes forward. So we're undoing that by lifting, pressing the arms back, then the head can be level. Urdhva Hastasana. Keep the feet pressing down, extend the arms up and back. So here again, grip the triceps into the body, press the arms back to feel your back body moving forward, moving in. Make sure you're not swinging the hips, the chest forwards and arching into the back. Don't do that. Keep the body level and reach up. And exhale, arms down. Okay, now for Parsvakonasana. So grab a brick or a few blocks. And I'm just going to briefly show it to you from the side because it is important that we make sure that when we bend the knee, that we have the knee back against the arm. Yeah, so many times I see the knees wandering forward and the bottom going back. So that's not going to be helpful for the knee. So keep, like our Baddha Konasana, that cobbler's pose we did, get that stretch on the inner thigh, move the buttock in, and then again, that same thing, taking the top shoulder back. And then the work in the arms. So come on then, let's put our blocks on the right side. And join your feet, be in Tadasana, find your center. And bring your hands into your chest. Bend your knees, step or jump wide. Stretch the arms to broaden the shoulders and firm the triceps. Don't let them hang down. Lift them. Then turn the left foot in, turn the right leg out. Inhale. Exhale. Bend the knee and descend in the sitting bones. Take your hand to the block behind your ankle. Make sure that you've not gone too low, so your top shoulder is back, and then extend the arm over your ear. Keep, like our gate pose, we've got to lift the hip and rotate the trunk so that this armpit rolls back, this top armpit, instead of rolling in front of your face, roll it back. And that comes from a movement in the abdomen, it's not just from the chest. Then you might be able to turn the head, but don't turn the head if you've not got the opening in the chest. Just work on the rest first. And exhale, press down into your feet, look forwards and come up. Join your legs and then put your block over to the other side. So with all these postures, they're kind of a self-study. So it's not about how low can you go. It's more about, what's happening to my body at this moment in time and what equipment is going to help me to get the maximum opening in the chest, etc., etc. So it's a learning experience, not just a doing. Exhale, hands to the chest, jump. especially as you're practicing on your own and no one's watching you. So turn that right foot in, swing the left leg out. So notice for yourself, watch as if you were your own teacher standing next to you. Have you turned the left leg? Then exhale, bend the knees, move the sitting bone down and reach to the side. Take your hand to the block. Pause, make sure that you're lengthening this inner thigh, moving the knee back against the arm. And then extend the top arm over. Keep lifting the underneath of this left leg up, lifting the top hip, rotating the trunk, taking the shoulder back, then the arm can press back, dorsal cervical in, then turn the head. But again, only turn the head if you've got this turning in the trunk. And actually the turn is not so much the head, but it's the neck that's turning. You're moving the cervical in, vertebra in and turning the neck. Exhale, face forward. Inhale, come up. Turn your feet forwards. Exhale, Tadasana. So I'm going to show you a way of preparing for Chaturanga. It's quite a nice way to practice it when you've got height underneath you, because then you can place the limbs, so you're tucking the toes under and pressing the hands down, but you're not actually having to lift up. So please do try with some height first. And now tuck the toes under, press the shins up, press the thighs up, but move the sacrum in. Roll the shoulders back and lengthen your armpits forward. Then see if you can do a micro lift, not of the chest, then the hips, but of the whole lot all at once. So just like a plank, only lifting a couple of inches, not much. And rest. Then either repeat with the blocks or now do it without the blocks. So tuck the toes under, press the hands down, keep the breadth in the shoulders and the collarbones. Exhale. And exhale, lift. Press the thighs up, sacrum in, chest broad. And down, well done. Then fold your arms, stretch your heels out and rest your head. So I'm going to show you Salabhasana now with the same setup with the foam pads. So it is worth trying if you're slightly stiffer in the body, because you are already off the floor, so you don't feel so kind of unmovable. We tend to feel a bit heavy when we're on the ground. So from here, you've got your hands in this Chaturanga position. You're rolling your shoulders back, and now just stretch your legs back. So in fact, just stretch them back individually first. Get that length, get that space distincting from the pelvis. Stretch the legs back, and then raise the shins, reach the toes back. And then rest. Now with the arms beside you, keep the shoulders rolling up. Now press the arms to the ceiling and press the legs to the ceiling. Keep the chest stretching forward as the arms and the feet reach back. And exhale, come down. So you're going to repeat with the blocks, or you're going to do it now on the floor. So if you're doing it on the floor, just stretch the legs back and then lengthen your tummy forward, so you're creating space. And then let's go. So stretch the arms back, legs back and lift. Reach through back with the toes, reach back with the hands, stretch forwards with the chest. Exhale and release. Rest your forehead on your hands, relax your heels apart. And then from here, press your hands into the floor, tuck your toes under and come up into downward facing dog pose. Try and get the heels to move back and down, calf muscles moving down, backs of the thighs up. Release the head. Keep the dorsal cervical vertebra moving in and keep the arms hitting up away from the floor. And then bend your knees to come down and kneel up. So we're going to go into Chatushpadasana with our shoulder stand support. So if you've not got 4 foam pads, so I've got 2 like this, and that's enough, but if you've got 2 more, then put 2 more next to it. And then fold your mat over. So have your head on the floor, your shoulders on the blocks, and then hold the mat with your hands. And actually, if you've got, no, that's fine. You want to make sure your feet are parallel. So if you've got an extra block, you could have a block between your feet. So pause. Exhale. And then press your feet down and lift the buttocks up. Then take your heels wider, press them down, lift the buttocks up some more. And then tuck your right shoulder under, and then tuck your left shoulder under, and pull the mat and lift your shoulder blades. Then again, you might want to walk your feet closer, heels out, press them down, lift the buttocks. Lift the lower buttocks, lift the middle buttocks. Keep the spread of the abdomen, don't let it push up to the ceiling. Keep the breadth in the chest. Coccyx in. And then exhale to lengthen and come down. So those of you, so you can all slide back and just rest with your shoulders on the floor and your knees resting against each other. So those of you who do shoulder stand, you can go up into shoulder stand. So everyone roll back and then roll to your side, come up. So those who are doing shoulder stand, you can go into shoulder stand with this 4-block setup. Otherwise, you're going to do bridge pose. So shoulder stand people, you know what to do. You're in the same position, but you bring your knees into your chest and take your legs up. Then you get to about there, but actually you're not really in the pose fully yet because you're not lifting your back. So you could take your feet into Halasana to help you to tuck the shoulders under in the same way that we did for Chatushpadasana. Press the toes down, hit the shins up, like we've been doing in dog pose, tree pose, Baddha Konasana. Then bring your hands right down low into those shoulder blades. Excavate your back and then stretch your legs up. Keep those hands right down low and then stretch the feet up. Move the inner thighs back. Keep the outer corners of the shoulders moving down. Press the forearms, upper arms down. Keep the throat relaxed. So stay for some time, and then when you're ready, you come down. I'm going to show the others how to do bridge pose in case they're not sure. So bridge posture, lie down, and then lift your hips, place your blocks. Tuck the shoulders under and straighten your legs to the wall. Press the thighs down, and again see if you can get this distinction between leg and pelvis. So the front of the hips coming in this direction. And those who are in shoulder stand now, support your back with your hands and gently come down. And then slide back and rest with your shoulders on the floor, head and shoulders on the floor. Keep your knees bent, feet apart, knees together. And those in bridge pose, now bring your feet to the ground. Press your feet down, lift your hips and move the blocks out. And just come down in stages. Feet apart, knees together. And then everybody roll over to your side and come up. So we're coming into Viparita Karani. So 4 blocks and a blanket on top. This is quite good, or maybe just 3 blocks. And have the fold of the blanket, the thicker bit, on the back. Okay, so that the sort of thinner bit is at the front and the bumpy bit is at the back, where the fold of the cloth is. Okay. Some of you will need to do this with your feet at the wall, so you might need a wall there. So come down onto your elbows and then see that your back is really resting and supported on the blanket, and then bring your knees straight up. But make sure that you've still got this openness in the chest, and then stretch your legs straight up. Now I know some of you, your legs will end up like that, and that's really uncomfortable for the abdomen. So that's why you would need the wall for your feet. Okay? So do go to the wall if your legs are leaning back. But if you find that your legs naturally land in line with the hips, then they kind of stay by themselves. Then tuck your shoulders under, roll the arms out so the palms face the ceiling. Close your eyes. So I'm actually going to come down because I've realised that by not having that many blocks under my buttocks, I am too also having to really hold my legs up. And at this point in the class, that's not really my intention. So I'm going to turn around and do this with my feet at the wall. So I think for most of you, that would work better. Always go into it with your knees bent so you've got more control. Tuck the shoulders under and then stretch the legs up. I'm a bit far from the wall, but that's okay. Okay, so now bring your feet off the wall, bend your knees, place your feet down, and then move the blocks towards the wall and sit down. And then roll over to your right side to come. Move your equipment out of the way and just keep a blanket and a foam pad. We're going to do kneeling forward bend with our head supported. So place the blanket on the block, feet together, knees apart, and then stretch forward. This time you're going to rest the arms. Allow your back to spread, especially your upper back. Rest your forehead on the blanket to make sure there's space for your nose. And exhale, and inhale and come up. So we're going to go into Shavasana now. So have a blanket for your head. You may feel that you need to do Pavanuttanasana, which is alternate knees to the chest. So if that's the case for you, then just bring the right knee in. And then bring the left knee in. And then do this with one leg bent, one leg straight. And change. And then rest the feet to the floor. So slide your buttock flesh towards your feet, and then slide your legs straight and roll your legs out. Make sure the blanket is right up to the shoulders so it supports the neck. And then tuck your shoulders under and roll your arms out. Let the backs of the arms rest down. Let the whole of the body rest down. And the feet, let them roll out. And then exhale all the way down to your feet. And all the way down to your hands. Feel the muscles of your body relaxing completely.